Hey guys, and welcome here to our new AMA session. Today is July the 19th, and it's good to be back. I think we have some exciting news today for you. And of course, it's news, firstly, that's why first things first, about the SVD listing. I think the community has been waiting for, and we've already communicated last week that we do want to go ahead with the listing once the market stabilized a bit. The community was seeing the stabilization around a price area between 6,850 to 7,000 US for one Bitcoin. This has then happened quite soon, so now we are actually above that, so we can say that there is at least finally some slight stabilization of the crypto market. And of course now we also want to deliver on that, and we want to go ahead with the listing of the SAVEDROID token. So the plan, what we want to do now in order to get the token listed, is that we just go ahead with the 4 exchanges which are already listed also on our website, right? So this is HitBTC, this is TIDEX, this is IDEX, and this is Bancor. And basically the plan is to have the SVD token launched at those 4 exchanges by at the very latest August 10th. So that will give us now in the remaining weeks, which we still have, enough time in order to prepare everything, to test it technically, and also to do the marketing in order to create demand for the token for all the non-ICO participants. That is now basically what we need to do over the last weeks. And for you guys, what's important is that if you not already have a trading account and you wish to trade your tokens, that you of course can use one of the links on our website, ico.savedroid.com, in order to open your trading accounts with these exchanges. Whoever has not yet minted their tokens, of course, can complete the minting. You need to set the minting mode inside your profile. Please don't forget that. So basically you need to log in on ico.savedroid.com, then click to your profile and set the minting mode and enter your ERC20 compatible wallet address. That's the prerequisite if you want to receive your tokens. But no worries, we will of course notify all of you by a series of emails, also by some new blog posts which will come now over the next days and weeks, so that you have the full information on all channels. We will also post that on Telegram, we will share it on Reddit, on Bitcoin Talk, of course, so that you can just not miss any information around the exchange listing of the SVD token. That's what we will be now dedicated on, working on with highest intensity for the next weeks. So as I said, the plan is, since the crypto markets have finally stabilized, Bitcoin is now significantly above 7,000 US. We will be happy to go along with the listing of the SVD token. We will start with HitBTC, with TIDEX, with IDEX, and Bancor, with those 4 first. And we will receive and update you with all the latest information around the listing now over the next week's. Plan is to have the token listed by 10th of August at the very latest. That's what we wanted to let you know. That's why today we start this AMA session with the update around the token listing and not on the product. I'm going to talk about our product advantages and advancements in just a minute. And of course, then also what is there is basically talk about the top 5 exchange. We are still in close talks with these guys. Unfortunately, yet we have not yet a date committed. But as we also informed you guys in our latest AMA session last time, we said, look, we're going to wait forever until this top 5 can actually name and quote a final listing date. So the strategy is now we continue the listing process now in the first place until August 10th with the first 4 exchanges, which I've already mentioned, and the top 5 one is then gonna come a bit later on. We are still in close dialogues with these guys, and we will push for listing ASAP also on the top 5. But on the other hand side, we don't want to wait any longer, and I think that's then also in line with the broad interest of the community. Also, we are of course still in talks with other coin exchanges at this point in time. And nevertheless, I've been saying that also around all the other AMAs which we had over the recent month. The pricing is still crazy. So most exchanges we are talking to have prices several 100,000 US or even millions of US for a listing. We are not participating in this kind of game. I think these are crazy moon prices which we don't want to waste the money of our community on. So we are looking still for economically feasible exchange deals, and there are a few in the market, so we need to investigate these further, and hopefully we can have at least 1 or 2 further exchange listings which are economically feasible, which do economically make sense without burning too much money, also in the nearer future. That's what we are, in addition, also working on. And of course, we have had this message, unfortunately, last week in the community, and it was a big shakeup in the community, actually, because people were all of a sudden, again, feeling all the foot around. So there was this strange study of Satis Group, right? And I don't know if you've seen the original study. We have, of course, investigated that. The study has been published as a research on Bloomberg, and you can download the PDF. It's for free, available in the web. And in this study, they are officially classifying the SAVEDROID as ICO as a scam, which of course is not true. As you guys know, the ICO is legit. So what have we done in order to resolve that? We have reached out to all the guys from Satis Group. I've wrote them an email, tried to contact them. I wanted to hop on a call with the guys in order to discuss. Unfortunately, the guys didn't want to discuss, so that's a bit unfortunate. We have asked the guys to correct their wrong research. And this is where it's getting a bit absurd, because they are claiming that at the point where they actually collected the data, SAVEDROID would have been labeled as a scam ICO, which is obviously not true, because if you look to the details of the study, you will easily find in the first place that the data gathering should have taken place in the first quarter of 2018. And as you know, our action happened only in the second quarter, so in April. So this is highly inconsistent in what they are telling. And even more than that, they are even quoting as basically proof that SAVEDROID's ICO would be a scam, a news article from Wirtschaftswoche, it's a German economic newspaper, which clearly states that it's not a scam, and this has only been an action taken in order to bring across the message that there is too much scam going on in the ICO market. So if you look really into the study, you will easily find out that there are many inconsistencies. They are claiming a wrong date when the data would have been collected. At this point in time, the action didn't even take place. On the other hand side, they are quoting an article which is obviously saying that SAVEDROID is not a scam. At the same time, they are claiming it is one. So I think this is a bit a challenging situation. Therefore, of course, we are doing two things now. We are still pushing towards them correcting this wrong research, which I think would be a good way of business conduct. If you've obviously did a mistake, then you should try to at least correct it and try to apologize for it. I think that's also the same what we have done after the action. You know that we have very genuinely and very broadly apologized to everyone for this mistake which we did, and I think we can expect the same here by these guys. I think that's just a good business conduct. And on the other hand side, we are still evaluating to take legal action against this libel, because here it seems that obviously there was a very motivated decision in order to report something which obviously is not true. I can only guess what was the motivation behind. But given all the facts, if you look into the study, you get very close to this conclusion. So therefore, we are actually investigating if we should take legal action against the guys of Satis Group. We will keep also the community posted on the further progress of that. But we are, of course, still hoping that the guys are open for a dialogue. We are open for a dialogue, so we are happy to engage in a phone call. We are happy to find a mutually acceptable resolution of the whole issue. I think that would be actually the best for all involved parties. So that's basically the update around the token. So to sum it up again and keep it very short, we will go ahead now with the listing, the deadline. We want to have the token listed at the very latest by August 10th. We're going to go ahead with the 4 exchanges already named on our website: HitBTC, TIDEX, IDEX, and Bancor. You should get your trading accounts if you've not already done so. You can just go through the links on our website, so you don't need to search. It'll be an easy thing. We continue the talks with the top 5 exchange, but here the deadline is yet unclear. We need to push for a listing soon, but this can then happen after the listing on the first 4 exchanges. And other than that, we're of course still looking for more exchanges to come. By the way, we will also post the summary of all the key points I'm telling you here just inside the thread here. So our community manager is basically posting all the comments and the short bullet summary of what I'm just telling you also as a comment just below the video. So there you can also, if you should be a late joiner of this AMA, you can just read through. It's going to be an easy thing. So we just copy and paste the high level message as a comment to this AMA live stream, and then you can read it all the time. And if you're listening to that well after the AMA on YouTube, you will find also the bullet summary just below this live streaming video. Now the next point which I want to update you guys about is obviously about the crypto app, right? You know that we have launched our beta on June 29th, so it's only a short time ago. And the good news is since then we have already generated more than 2,500 downloads of this crypto beta app. So we're actually very pleased with that approach. You know that it's invitation only, so there cannot be too much downloads at this point in time, but I think 2,500 in just this short time period is actually quite good. Even more, now we are working on new features to extend the capabilities of the app. What's coming next? Firstly, we are currently working on the integration of Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. So the idea is to increase the number of coins from currently Bitcoin and Ethereum only you can save in to 4 coins in the future. We will add Litecoin, we will add Bitcoin Cash, and that should go live as a beta version in September 2018. Also, we are working, of course, on the Apple version of our app, so iOS. The community is already looking forward to that. We receive many questions. When can I use SAVEDROID on iOS also? We are pushing forward on this one as well. The planned beta launch date for our iOS app on Apple should be somewhat around September or October 2018. So that's then basically the next big release which is going to be there. Firstly, adding new coins. Secondly, adding the application for iOS as well. More than that, you know that the beta is currently invitation only, will continue in the setup. So that means that if you are an ICO participant and you bought SVD, you will receive automatically your invitation at one point in time. So there's no need to worry. We have a randomized process where we just pull out randomly users from the ICO community. Please be aware that here we have from token buyers more than 35,000 people, and we do have a bounty community of again more than 35,000 people. So in total, it's more than 70,000 people. So it can take a while. Please bear with us. Please be a bit patient, but it's granted. You will receive your personal invite, and once you get that, you will be able, in order to use the app and to save in crypto in a very easy and convenient way, by basically just connecting your credit card or using PayPal in order to load your savings account. So that's basically the update around the app. More than 2,500 downloads already achieved, which I think is pretty good news. And now for all of you who have not yet received your invitation, or also for the ones who have already received your invitation, there is one more positive news. We will now just launch a new bounty program, and the new bounty program is going to go live next week, Wednesday. It's going to be on July 25th. And in this bounty program, we're going to offer a total bounty in a value of 100,000 euro. And it's going to be about spreading the word about the SAVEDROID crypto saving app. So the whole idea is, and we told you that already throughout the ICO, we do want to use the tokens in the bounty buckets, which we have reserved exactly for this purpose, to drive user growth of the app. So the whole goal of this new bounty campaign is to spread the word about the new crypto savings app of SAVEDROID, and you can participate in this bounty program even already if you don't have yet received your invite in order to use the app. So there are many different bounties. It's bounties on Facebook, on Twitter, bounties on Medium, bounties on the Play Store, and you can just pick your favorite bounty, and the whole program will go live by next week, Wednesday, on July 25th. So what you can do if you want to participate, and we will also post the link just below this video, just click on the link, go to Google Play. So unfortunately at this point it's only for Android users, but once the iOS app is ready, you will extend, of course, also the bounty to iOS. But if you are now an Android user, please click the link, download the app already, and starting from next Wednesday, so not starting from today, but starting from next Wednesday, July 29th, you will be able to see all the different bounties on which you can earn free SVD. And you can not only earn free SVD in the value of 100,000 euros in just 1 month, no, you can also skip the queue and use the SAVEDROID savings app earlier. So meaning if you earn a lot of stakes, you will then be by our generating system where we pull out the users. You will be pre-selected and will actually jump the queue, so you'll be able to use the app earlier than if you don't participate in the bounty and are not collecting stakes in the whole process. So I think good news here on this side for all the bounty hunters. We wish happy bounty hunting. We hope that many people will continue. The good point about this bounty program is that the rewards are going to be really fast. The bounty campaign will run in cycles of 1 month. That means that basically now the first cycle will run from 25th of July until the 24th of August, and then the next cycle from 25th of August to 24th of September. And within these 4 weeks, you always have the chance to participate in the new bounty round. So it's always going to be a bounty cycle of just 1 month, and the full amount of equal value of SVD tokens of 100,000 euros will be offered in this just 1 month, and then you will receive your tokens within, again, only 4 weeks after the closing of 1 bounty cycle. So it's really fast rewards here, and our goal is to be aggressive on this side, as we already mentioned throughout the ICO, to increase our user base as fast as we can, to spread the word about SAVEDROID, and that's where we need your help from the community. That's why we are designing this bounty program in such an attractive way, and we do hope that many people will participate. If you already want to get a head start, you can download the app already today. The link is going to be displayed here below the video, but please bear with us. The bounty details will only go live next week, Wednesday, July 25th. And last but not least, the ones for you who do follow our Telegram channel in detail already know, we have also announced our next and our second community event. This is going to take place on August 15th, so it's roughly 3 months then since our last community barbecue. This time it's going to be a different format because we want to try out new things with you as the community. What we are doing this time, it's more a meetup format. So that's going to mean that we're going to have you guys getting a sneak peek behind the scenes of SAVEDROID. We're going to invite you here to our offices. You can either join physically in Frankfurt or via live streaming throughout the web. So this is going to be worldwide. And you will meet different members of our team. They will give you a talk. You will have the chance to do a Q&A with our team members. So the goal of the whole meetup format is to really show you who's working for SAVEDROID, who are the faces behind the SVD token, and you can really engage with them in an interactive format where you will learn more about our strategy, about our AI, about our product. So everything what's interesting for you as a community. So this is really a new way which we want to try out and share with you all the details which are there behind the SAVEDROID brand. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and if you want to participate in this one, there's also a sign-up link. Of course, it's for free, no questions asked, and the sign-up link you will also find just below this video. We have created this one as a meetup on the meetup.com platform. So if you don't have a user profile there, you can just sign up on Meetup. You can log in there with your Facebook profile, for example. It's quite easy, and then you're gonna stay tuned on all the updates which we're gonna post in this Meetup format. Then a detailed agenda will follow, of course, and that's the easiest way in order to participate in this one. We are already looking quite a lot forward to welcoming you guys here and via the web streaming. The last community barbecue event has already been very rewarding. The whole team enjoyed it pretty much, and therefore I'm really looking forward now to this next one. And hopefully we will have at least as much participants. Last time we were roughly around 100 people gathering here in our Frankfurt office. Let's see how many people we can get together. This time the more the merrier, as always. So please feel free, sign up now already that you don't miss it out. It's going to take place on Wednesday, August the 15th, and we are looking forward for everyone to participate. Well, that's basically the wrap up of all the news. Has been quite a lot this time. Usually the first part is a bit shorter, but as you also see from the summary bullets which we have posted below this video, you can also see that this time we had a bit more to tell. I think the most exciting news probably for the community is about the token listing. And here now we have a very clear roadmap and a very clear timeline. As the markets have stabilized, the goal is to list the SVD token until August 10th at the very latest at the 4 exchanges, HitBTC, TIDEX, IDEX, and Bancor. and the top 5 exchanges then going to follow in a later point in time. That's now how we're going to go ahead, also according to what we've already announced in the last week and what we've announced in our previous AMA, that we want to wait for a crypto market stabilization, which we believe has at least to a slight extent happened now, and which is in line also with market experts who have seen the US dollar 7,000 mark for one Bitcoin as a very crucial one in order to find a more stable market environment. Let's hope that this stability keeps up, that the markets will foster a bit until the token is listed. I keep my fingers crossed. So hopefully we're going to have a good market timing for the listing of the SAVEDROID token. Very well, enough with the monologue, and now hopefully jumping into all the questions and comments which you have. So I will have, as always, a look here on my second laptop in order to see what people have already posted and which questions are there. We have first one from Nathan, one comment: full support, guys. Thanks a lot, Nathan, for your support. Highly appreciated. Also good to have positive feedback. The team will be very happy. Then Milan has one question here. Why SVD make this vote at May, and now long after the 4 to 6 weeks we won't be listed to the biggest exchange? Yeah, good question, Milan. Actually, we are asking ourselves exactly the same. The discussions with the big exchange are going very slow at this point in time. We see that the issue is that these guys were not able yet to commit on a fixed listing date, and that's currently what you see with a lot of exchanges out there whom we are also in talks with. This relates a bit back also to what I said earlier. We don't only have crazy pricing of the exchanges. At the same time, to the most guys you're talking is they're asking for a very high price, but at the same time not committing on a listing date. And the reason for that is that I think the guys are also now very, very careful about the shaky crypto market. Of course, they don't want to list a huge load of different coins and tokens in a market situation where the markets are not stable, because they fear that prices will drop significantly. And if that happens, of course, the reputation of this exchange will also be hurt. So therefore, they are getting more and more cautious. And I think this is an issue which we see, especially for the bigger exchanges, which are a bit in fear about their own reputation, that they are now more careful in selecting also listing dates, and by basically then stretching listing periods. And I think this is also the thing which we suffer from at this point in time. But nevertheless, we will continue pushing for this one, Milan. I can promise you. And of course, the goal is to add this bigger exchange. But we have heard the voice of the community, which also clearly says that once the markets are stable, we should go ahead with the listing now and don't wait any longer. And therefore, I think this is now the way we have decided to finally go with. And I do hope that at least majority of our community and majority of token holders can be happy with the decision which we have taken here. So thanks a lot, Milan, for your question. And I hope that this addresses your point. Then Sami is saying here, you shaved your beard. Okay, yeah, very good point. I see you are a regular listener here to the AMA session, Sami. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, it was about the time. Temperature is quite high, is now feeling much better in an office where it is close to 30 degrees at today. Then CoinVadi, I know CoinVadi, you are also a regular visitor of this one, saying Tobias said implementing of PayPal and app, will PayPal allow this? So we are currently implementing it. We need to see how the process goes. So you can never in the crypto world tell one-to-one if things work out or if things don't work out. We are currently working on this, and then we will take it from there, CoinVadi. I think that is the only approach which is currently viable, but this is not only the case for this partner, but also for other payment partners. The market is still challenging in this regards, because regulation is unclear. And unless regulation will be cleared, we will still have a shaky market environment where individual players may pull out. We had, it's not only in the payment space, by the way, the case. We had the case that Facebook, after quite a while, firstly they said we're going to ban crypto ads forever. Then they basically pushed back from this one and said, okay, you can advertise for Bitcoin and stuff, but not for ICOs. But then still at the moment, they are not really unlocking advertisement accounts. We have some ban at Google. We have some ban at Twitter. We have some ban at MailChimp even. So you can see that these days it's still crazy in the crypto world because regulation is unclear. And therefore, I think you always need to test a lot in this space. And hopefully we can find a stable setup and a stable solution on this one. You can be assured that we are always working on different solutions as a backup. So therefore, the team is really having an open eye on which options are there out in the market. And I think at this point in time, that's the only way to go forward, unless we get a clear regulation where then more players will jump in and enable crypto features also on their existing services. So we are, of course, hoping for that, but this may take a few months to come. Then Altan is asking here, when is this listing? So this is obviously German. The German AMA, by the way, is taking place a bit later at 7 p.m. But Altan also happy to answer for you now, just briefly. This listing is am 10. August spätestens, as I already said in the beginning. 10th of August should be the latest listing date. But you can also, you guys, read all the key bullets, the key summary here just below in the comments. Our community manager has already posted the summary below this live video. So if you just scroll down, you will also find all the answers right there. Then Ahmed is asking, do you speak Turkish? Yasin, no, actually not. I'm also not Turkish, by the way, just for the ones because you are now asking. I'm half Lebanese. My father is from Lebanon, but unfortunately I cannot speak Arabic, only German and English. So unfortunately no AMA in Turkish, also not in Arabic. Sorry to disappoint you guys. Then we have here from Quirin, on 10th August is the SEC's EFT decision. That is very good timing. Is that pure coincidence or factored into the decision? Quirin, see, I think here you cannot perfectly anticipate market timing, right? I think this is actually the biggest challenge, not only in crypto markets, but also in traditional financial markets. People have been trying to do that for decades now, but most people fail. So I think here, I would say, of course, we have looked into what is up to come now in the next month. But as I said, this is now more as a coincidence. Hopefully, if it can be positive, of course, that's very good. If not, then also we need to accept it, right? This is market timing is one of the most difficult things which is out there in the world. So therefore, of course, you can try to get as close as possible, but there will be never the perfect timing. And that, I think, is just what we need to accept. I think what is even more relevant than this SEC decision is the fact that the market is now in a bit more stable environment. And we have seen that with all the feedback which we got from the community, with all the feedbacks which we also had in the one-to-one talks with the larger ticket investors, that people were really afraid of the situation starting from beginning of May, where we've seen like 8 weeks in a row declining prices for cryptocurrencies. So this was just not the right timing in order to release any token to an exchange. And therefore, I think now, since it's a bit more stabilized, and hopefully this continues also now in the next weeks, the situation is much better already. And I think that's also what we get as a feedback from our community. So to exactly your point, yes, of course, we have looked at different factors, but at the end of time also it's a bit coincidence, because we have now the situation that markets in general have stabilized a bit, and that of course helps always here again. Then Jensen is saying, what about KuCoin or Bbox? As I said, Jensen, we are currently talking to different exchanges. The issue with, and that's now not specifically to the two you are mentioning, this is now a comment more in general, is that the pricing is really crazy, right? You have exchanges who are asking for like 300K US, 500K US, 1 million, 2 million US just for one exchange listing. And I think that this is not a realistic, that this is not an economically feasible pricing there. Of course, you see some ICOs paying this price, but my question at this point in time is always, does this really make sense? And is this really the best use of the money you have collected in the ICO? Because if I do the opportunity cost calculation and ask on the other hand side, if I invest, let's say 1 million US in user growth, which will eventually drive demand for the SVD token, then I get off with a better investment of the money than just paying this money for an exchange listing, which, by the way, can be withdrawn from the exchange one-sidedly at every point in time. So it may not be guaranteed, even you pay the high price, that you at one point in time, for example, say if your trading volume may be too low, the coin may be delisted again and you've just lost all the money which you spent on the exchange listing. So therefore, I think this is one point which all the time needs to be taken into account. It's not such an easy decision. And as I said already many times, also in the previous AMAs, you're not paying crazy moon prices for exchange listings. There must always be an economic rationale behind. Otherwise, this would not be a wise decision to take to just waste money on moon prices for crazy exchange listings. I hope, Jensen, that this goes to your point. Then we have the next comment and question from Maki, saying here, I bought the ICO token when it was launched, but up till today I have not been able to mine my SVD, to mint, I think you mean. What is going on? Yeah, so Maki, this can typically only have one reason, which is if you have, and this is already important, you need to basically understand how have you paid. If you have paid by credit card, there is a lockup of 180 days. So that's one. If this is the reason, then that is the answer to it. Secondly, have you completed your KYC already? If not, you need to complete your KYC. This you can do inside your user profile, or you can contact our support. And thirdly, if you have not paid by credit card, if you have completed your KYC, then you need to look in your user profile on ico.savedroid.com, click in your profile link. If you have set your minting mode, there are 3 different minting modes, and there may be by default selected that you want to keep your SVD with the SAVEDROID wallet. Then, of course, the SVDs are not minted. And what you need to do there is you need to change the minting mode, that you would want to have your SAVEDROID tokens minted to your wallet address, and you need to enter your ERC20 wallet address into the field which says your wallet. And if you've done so, and if you completed all that, then your tokens will also be minted. No questions asked. If you still should have trouble with this one, please write to us on Telegram, and an admin will help you with this request to get your tokens minted. That should be not a big issue, Maki. I hope that this will also then resolve the minting for you. Then next one, Clarine again. If you need another top exchange, why don't you talk with Robinhood, or are you in discussion with them? 97% of their digital assets is in safe cold storage. As SAVEDROID, you don't have to think, should rather focus on these type of exchanges instead of the likes of Bancor that did get hacked recently. Definitely, I mean, according to your point, security in the field of cryptocurrencies is one of the most important. Only issue behind this one is that firstly, nothing is unhackable, and secondly, you never know how secure an exchange is before it eventually gets hacked. So of course there are some exchanges which already did get hacked, but on the other hand side, the only part, or the only point about one exchange not yet being hacked doesn't mean that it's safe and will never be hacked in the future. I think this is also one thing which one needs to get very clear in his head. So there is no perfect security at this point in time, and of course you can only try, and you can only try to be with the safest exchanges out there, but it's always hard to tell if you're not the exchange yourself how safe it really is at the end of the day. I'm pretty convinced that whatever is out there, at some extent at least, is hackable. Of course, it's the pure cold storage and there's no connection to the outside world, complete offline, then it's not hackable for sure. But in one point of time, most of these systems have some leakage, where of course then there is at least something transferred into an openness space which then is hackable. So therefore, yes, looking after security for exchanges is a very important thing, what we are also doing. But nevertheless, it's very hard to be by 100% at the safe side. We try to, of course, maximize the security level which you can have. And we do know that Robinhood is very good in this dimension. So this may be an option in the future. We need to evaluate that, and we need to see if that could be one of the exchanges. But I don't want to currently narrow it down to only one. As I said, we are looking to different exchanges. And I think once we find economically feasible deals, then we, of course, will execute them. And this may then also be other exchanges. Of course, security evaluations are always a very important thing to look at. Then we have one. I see. Okay, Marky has also gotten a direct answer from Toby. That's cool. So my co-founder has already answered regarding the minting topic. I hope, Marky, that it has been already resolved as I'm talking right now. Then we have Bernd here. When I get my Lambo, yeah, Bernd, this I cannot tell you. This will depend obviously on how many SVD you have bought, and if you've bought enough, then maybe you get it sooner than later. If you've only bought a few, then it may take quite some while. This I cannot tell you exactly. So you need to check your SVD balance, Bernd. I hope that this gives you some help to calculate the point in time once you will be able to order your Lambo. If it should not last, by the way, what I can offer as a resale here, we do have a Lambo Bobby car, Bernd. This could be another solution for you if you only have very few SVD tokens. I could offer you to trade them in for a Lambo Bobby car, which we have here at our office. Maybe you want to consider, but you basically would need to pick it up here. But then we could also sit together for a coffee. So that's basically what I can offer here to speed up the Lambo process for Bernd. Then let's continue with Ahmed again. When exchange, we already had that, Ahmed, at the very latest 10th of August, but you can also read the summary right below the live streaming. Then Milan is asking, I think we had this question already. Further up, let me check. Yes, it's the same question. Basically, why did we have the community voting? Why did it now take longer? Already answered that, Milan, a bit ago. Then Nguyen is asking here, BTC now 7.4K. When SVD will be listing? As I said, listing at the very latest on August 10th. So we have answered this question already. Since this question is now popping up over and over again, I think it would be also a good idea to check the summary of the whole session, which we have already posted below this video here. If you just scroll a bit in the comments, you will easily find it. And I think what we can also do, if the question is now popping up over and over again, that maybe our community manager will directly answer the question in a comment, in order that we don't need to pick it up in the live AMA anymore. I do see that this is, of course, a very important question, but we have now mentioned it quite many times already, and I don't want to bore the guys who follow the whole session too much by over and over again repeating the listing date. I just kindly ask you guys to scroll down a bit and to read it for yourself. That would be great if you could do that. Then next one, Nathan is asking here, you advertised the 5th exchange and take our money without a confirmation from them. No, this is not true, Nathan. That's exactly what I'm saying, and I keep saying also from AMA to AMA. We have reached an agreement to list the token. Now the key question is when, and this is where the discussion around is about. So it's not discussion if the token should be listed, but the discussion is around when it should be listed, and that's basically the issue here. So just to get things straight, and Nathan, also for our discussion here, it's important to understand that basically the timing is the issue, and that currently exchanges are very careful because of the difficult and challenging crypto market environment. They don't want to risk listing too much token in a downturn of the market, where of course then tokens would lose value and where they could also lose reputation in their user base, and therefore they are now a bit more careful than they used to be a time ago, since the crypto prices have been going down for the recent month. I think this is quite understandable, but it's a different reason. As I tell you here, there is an agreement. We just need to confirm the date, Nathan. I hope that this gives you a good answer to your question. Then Holger asking, what about NEO? See there again, I think we, and Quirine then asking, Stellar Lumens, I think here, if you talk about different coins, right, our commitment, and you can see that in the white paper, you can see it on the roadmap on our homepage, is of course to integrate more coins over time, right? And that's what we are doing. We need to start somewhere. That's why we started with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, now next Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. And then of course, all the other coins will follow. We definitely have the plan to onboard as many coins and tokens as possible to our platform. As you know, we don't want to offer a crypto savings plan in just one coin, but we want to build a portfolio. We have hired Professor Danko Nikolic in order to build up, together with his data scientist team, an algorithm which is able to build an intelligent portfolio, being able to minimize volatility using different coins and tokens. And of course, we do want to deliver on that. So that means we need to add more coins and tokens into the SAVEDROID ecosystem. And that's what we will do over time, right? Currently, we are looking into which coins and tokens can follow now as the next. And I think we have also already looked into, especially because this is also Quirin is talking here, Stellar. So Lumens are going to be ones which we are having a special look towards, but also the other ones for sure. I mean, we for sure want to integrate all the top coins in the first place to be able to build a broad portfolio. So this is all on our roadmap. You can also see it on our homepage, but of course it will take some time. And now the most relevant ones, the most next ones which we will onboard to the SAVEDROID platform are going to be Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, and both will be live on SAVEDROID in September. So this is now the most recent ones which we're going to integrate, and the other ones, as you're correctly saying here, Holger and Quirine, will be then added thereafter. And we of course will continue integration of further coins as we go. Then Dicky saying, it's just a big joke. Don't know really what you mean. With this one, I think would be helpful if you could be a bit more precise what you don't like. Then we can also have a good discussion about what you don't like. I think that would be very helpful in order to have a constructive discussion around criticism also, which I highly appreciate. Then we have from Matthias asking who has beta access. I think here also to answer for you a bit more easy, we have basically excluded in the first round all the users from Germany. This for regulatory issues. I will also explain in more detail to the German users when we go to the German AMA, which is taking place at 7 p.m. today. So basically we have then all the remaining ICO contributors and bounty hunters from our ICO except for the German users, and out of them we have done random selection until now and have invited so far roughly 2,600 users to join the beta, and we will keep inviting users in batches of 500 to 1,000 users every other day. So we are basically continuing to grow there, to get more downloads, to get more app users, but it will take a while. And you will find Matthias for sure in the Telegram community, users who have already beta access. We do have a few guys who are very active there, who can also share their feedback on the crypto app. And you can also go to the store and read the first user reviews. You will find them on Google Play. You will find the link also down here below the video. You can see what users are saying about the app currently. The first feedbacks which we get are very positive. We have on average currently a 4.4 star rating out of 5, which is very cool. So we are really happy for that. All our IT team who has developed the app working long hours, spending significant effort, are really pleased to get these good reviews. But of course, feel free to talk to other users who are already inside the beta app and can use. Probably growing a bit longer now again. Then Corinne saying, great idea with the bounty. Thanks, Corinne. Yes, we do hope indeed that we can leverage that in order to facilitate user growth for the app, which then has also the highest contribution to the value of the SVD token. That's why we are investing in this one. This has been our clear commitment throughout the ICO. And of course, we do want to deliver on this now. That's why we're actually starting this bounty campaign. And you guys, if you have missed it in the intro of this app, you can check also the link down here. You can install the app already today. You will then see the bounty program. Also, if you have not yet been invited to join the beta, you can of course already participate in beta, spread the word about the app, and you can earn tokens in the volume of 100k euro in just 1 month. So this is really aggressive marketing what we're planning to do here in order to drive user growth for the SAVEDROID crypto saving apps. That will be important for us in order also to support the value of our token. Then Corinne saying here also most other blockchain projects stop bounties with the end of the ICO. Good to hear to start one now. Yeah, exactly. I think that's also thanks for adding that, Corinne. That's also one thing which we saw with other ICOs where I think we take a very different approach here, because we do believe that the biggest value from the ICO, of course, is in having built up the community and now being able to play out the strengths of the community by, of course, incentivizing everybody in order to participate, to spread the word, and thereby then being able to facilitate our user growth. And I think the better we can work together between SAVEDROID as a company, you guys as a community, of course, being incentivized by getting stakes, by earning rewards and getting free SVDs to keep the whole system attractive, the better the user growth will be, and everybody is profiting from an incentive system like this. So therefore, of course, we do want to keep it up, and also promise this is now not just for a few months after the beta launch, but this is meant to be a long-term program which we will have in place now for the whole future in order to be strong on the side of user growth. So therefore, thanks also for the positive feedback here on the bounty program, Corinne. So then next one is Suarez saying here, kindly consider some bonus SVD to buyers at 10% of purchased coin. This will cool down community better than bounty. So just asking now for basically a free airdrop or free bonus of SVD for the community, we believe is not the right way to go. I also want to be very straightforward and very clear on this one. If you see that we have delivered the beta app in a development time in just 3 months, if you see that now we are executing the listing plan, if you see that we have been hiring very good talent with Professor Danko Nikolic and some more top hires to come now over the next weeks, being aggressive on the user growth side, I think it's very well justified to have the reward program being packaged as a bounty. Of course, there is no free lunch here, but I think it's a very fair bounty program. If you will have a look to it next week, once it goes live, you will see that there are so many ways, and actually so many easy ways to earn bounty, that it's close to be comparable to an airdrop, right? You can even, to just make it a bit more transparent for you guys, you will be able to earn stakes and earn rewards for as easy as liking the Facebook page, following us on Twitter, joining the Telegram channel, and many other very easy things, very low-hanging fruits in order to participate in the bounty. So I think this is really a great opportunity for all the existing SAVEDROID token holders to be rewarded. And on the other hand side, it's a good opportunity also for newbies to join the program and to drive user growth going forward. So in this context, Suarez, you're not definitely going for just a free bonus to everyone. This will not happen. Sorry to disappoint you there, but we want to invest the bounty tokens which we have really on purpose to drive user growth, because that is what we have promised also in the ICO, to be aggressive on this end, and that's what we are doing now. So delivering to what we said. Hopefully you can understand this one. Then thanks Piers for the feedback. Great, also great for your positive feedback. Thanks so much. Then Dicky saying here, Yasin, you should think the plans you just talking about since past 5 months ago. Not exactly sure. Maybe the next comment makes it more clearer. How can you use market movement as a reference to listing your coins? What a joke. A market itself was never stabilized. This is obviously your opinion, Dicky, to which I do not agree. And by the way, also, if you look to the discussion which has been going on in the community, I think also the majority of our community would not agree. There is a very clear point that, of course, listing a coin is highly dependent on the current market environment. And you have seen that in the past. This does not only hold true for crypto coins, this is also a common law if you look to stock listings in the classical financial markets, right? You see that IPOs are being postponed because you have difficult times on the general stock market. This is nothing new. This is nothing which we have invented. This is typically what people who carefully consider what's a good point when to list a stock or when to list a coin at a market take into account and take into consideration before making a decision. I believe that it would be extremely harmful if you just stick to a plan because you have said so, then the market goes down, you stick to the plan, you list your coin in a falling market, the coin will lose significant value. What has been won by everyone by just following the strategy in this point? I don't think there is any point to this one. Yes, you're right, we wanted to list the coin earlier, the token earlier, sorry. That is very true. We have postponed that, but there were valid and significant reasons why we did that. We didn't do it because we just were fancy of doing that, but because we firstly wanted to have our product launch, and secondly we want to have the token listed in a stable market environment, and that is in line with the feedback which we got from our community. If we talk to the big investors, if we talk also to the small investors, if we look to the sentiment now in Telegram, on Twitter, we see that majority of the people actually do back up this strategy. And of course we do see, Dicky, and that's exactly to your point, we always see a small number of people shouting out very aggressively, right? When listing, you should do it sooner, list today, don't wait for anything, you are idiots, you are liars, you are scammers. But see, Dicky, the point is, we are not listening to guys who are shouting at the loudest. We are listening to points who bring rational arguments to the table, who want to get engaged in a constructive discussion. And I think this is what one must not confuse with one another, right? People are not being right if they're just shouting loud. That's actually typically a sign for people being on the wrong side of things, because you don't have any valid content arguments. That's why you're shouting loud, right? Someone who has good content to bring into a discussion is typically not shouting. And I think this is very important. And therefore, to your feedback, which I appreciate on being on the critical side, surely, and I agree to that, we are now listing at a later point in time that we originally planned. Absolutely correct. You're right. On the other hand side, there have been very relevant reasons why we have been doing that, because it makes sense to list the token only if you have a live product, and you can see that there is a clear correlation between successful token listings and having a live product, so this makes sense. And secondly, we want to list the token in a more stable market environment, and again here there is economic and empirical evidence that it does make sense to list a token when the markets are more positive, because again there is a high correlation between a positive token listing and a positive market environment. And that's what I mean by having a good argument to bring to the table, to go into a discussion, to discuss with people, and then to come to an informed conclusion, and not shouting out aloud, but you have promised this 3 months ago, 5 months ago, and now you need to do it, independent on what happens in the rest of the world, but really looking at the very specific situation. And that's what we are always doing, and that's what we always want to keep doing also in the future. So this is also important. You have now experienced this, how we behave in these situations, how we come to conclusions, and it's one of the parts of our DNA that we are on a constant level questioning ourselves. Is the strategy which we wanted to follow yesterday still the right strategy to go for today? Have we learned something new? Do we alter? Do we need to iterate? Do we need to alter the strategy? And I think that's the only way how we can be successful as a startup. So that's basically how we tick, how our DNA is structured as a startup company, as the SAVEDROID company. And this is also, if you look to successful startups, how successful startups in general operate, right? A successful startup is not being defined by sticking to a plan which may be outdated because you have new learnings from a changing market environment. And that's exactly to the point. So Dicky, I hope that you can at least, even so we may not come to the same conclusion here, but that at least you can understand our motivation behind, and that you can see that this has not been done for the fancy of things, but there is a real content argument behind what we are doing here, and that will be also the same for all of our future actions. Then next one from Holger, saying general problem with listings on big exchanges. Yes, to this one, Holger, I can agree. What we see here currently is that especially the big exchanges are on the one hand side asking extremely high prices. So you are very easily talking about 1 million US, 2 million US, 3 million US. And on the other hand side, you see that they are not clearly committing to anything from their side. They are asking for tons of documentation from your company. And then even once you submit that, they are not giving you any feedback about how long it will take them to review it, about when they will get back to you with any feedback about what could be a realistic listing date. It's always what you get as a feedback. It's, we will see, we will let you know once we know ourselves. So there is no clear commitment what you can get. And this is something which is not only subject to SAVEDROID, but everyone in the market is currently in the same shoes here. And is facing the same issues with the larger exchanges. Then as next one we have here from Zalech. Yeah, after 6 months we have listing, longest ICO in crypto world. Again here, thanks for sharing the feedback. I do understand that you may not like that. Nevertheless, we feel that the decisions we have taken are in the best interest of the community, obviously not in the ones who are into pump and dump strategies, but rather on the hodler side. These are also the guys we want to keep happy. Honestly, and we have already said that in the future, we are not looking too much into people and after people who are just interested in the quick profit, right? The whole SAVEDROID strategy is a long-term project. We have a clear vision where we want to be in 2 years and 3 years from now. This is what we are working on very hard on a day-to-day level. We are not so much focusing on really short-term return in just a few days or a few weeks. I think that then really management priorities get mixed up and you will not have a positive outcome. So therefore, fair point that you don't like that the listing is taking longer, and I admit that it's taking longer than expected it to be. But on the other hand side, we do have taken these decisions in the best interest of the hodler community, who really sees the long-term value of the SAVEDROID project as well, and not only the short-term return which you can do with a pump and dump strategy. Holger then saying in regards to this one, looking at markets last 6 months, we did not miss anything. So either SVD got good instincts or got lucky, does not matter to me. I can go with both. Thanks, Holger. This is also another way of looking to it, and I think that this may be a good perspective, having the characteristics of kind of a compromise between the two extremes. So thanks for sharing that. Again, saying honestly, hope you guys get a lot of traction in Germany. The people there need something crypto savings. Definitely agree to that, Holger, and I will tell you more about this also, what the status is in Germany on our next German AMA session starting at 7 p.m. tonight. Gary asking, will we see SVD on CoinMarketCap? I do hope so. We need to check how that exactly works, how the preconditions are, if there is cost involved, if it's not crazy cost. But I do hope that we have a chance to make that happen, economically happen also, so that again it does make sense for the whole community. This is one thing we also now need to look into over the next weeks until the listing date, in how to get the token there at a reasonable effort. So thanks for your question, Gary. Holger asking, is the Robinhood listing expensive? So to our knowledge, what we have learned, it's a community airdrop which you need to do at Robinhood. It's a different kind of listing fee you pay here. At the more traditional exchanges, you pay a price to the owner of the exchange, whereas at Robinhood, what you do is a community airdrop. So at the end, the Robinhood community will be awarded with the tokens in order to do some promotion for that. That obviously does make more sense, but then of course you need to look in the total volume of the airdrop, and that is then of course, we need to engage into a closer discussion with everyone to find out if it's economically feasible. But I think it's in general, it's a different construct than just paying a listing fee, Holger, because here you are giving a community airdrop and you are rewarding the community for the listing. Then Coinvadi asking here, can you explain about app when we create wish and make moves and reach our target wish? What and how we will get the amount, and will credit card that connected the app will be charged, and then the money that deducted from the card will be used for exchanges behind and will get tiny benefit amount as saving. Will you deduct money will be converted to crypto or double the amount? Okay, Conwadi, let me explain from what I've understood a bit the process, how the app works. I think that may be most helpful here to answer this question. If you download the app and if you get your beta invite, then, and that's exactly the sequence of steps you described, you first set up your wish. The wish is basically what do you want to save for. And then you select your smooths. The smooths are the if this then that savings rule. So basically the way how you program the SAVEDROID bot, how it shall save for you. For example, if you reach your daily step goal as measured by the step count on your smartphone, you can say put aside €3, for example, right? Or you can say if Donald Trump tweets, let me save some 50 euro cent, for example, and that's then executed by SAVEDROID. Now in the last step, you actually determine how you want to load your savings account. This can be your credit card, or it could be another means of payment, right? And then what SAVEDROID will do is every time a smooth is triggered, the money will be deducted, say, from your credit card, which is connected to the app, and will then be auto-converted into crypto. So say you would have had the smooth, if I reach my daily step goal, 5,000 steps, I want to save €3 towards my summer vacation. What will happen is the €3 will be deducted from your credit card. You will then auto-convert the €3 into cryptocurrencies depending on what you choose. So you may choose to save at this point in time in Bitcoin or Ethereum, or in a 50-50 mix of the two. Then we do this auto-conversion. We store the crypto for you safely. You will be able to see the crypto in your SAVEDROID app. So you will see how much you have already saved up, how the value development of the crypto was. So you can then see how you approach your goal. And once you achieve your goal, you can then decide on how you can and want to withdraw your money. You can firstly do it by either just converting the money back from crypto into fiat and having it back on the credit card or on the way of payment you originally used to load your SAVEDROID account. This is option number one. Option number two will be, and this is another feature coming later this year, you can use the SAVEDROID prepaid credit card, which will be a credit card inside the SAVEDROID crypto savings app. And then you can just use this crypto credit card to pay at any online shop of your choice, say at Amazon. And then what we will do is we will auto convert back your crypto into fiat and then settle the Amazon bill through this prepaid credit card inside the SAVEDROID app at Amazon. And that's basically how the full process will work, right? So that's end to end. So you go from fiat into crypto, again back to fiat, and how you can load your account could be a credit card or another means of payment, and how you can unload it at the very end, send the money back where it came from, or in the future also use the SAVEDROID prepaid credit card at any online shop of your choice. I hope, Coinbody, that this explains clear enough for you how the SAVEDROID app in general works and what the different features are. If there should be some more questions, of course, happy to follow up on this one. Then Thomas is asking here, what about Binance Community Vote? It's much cheaper. That's true that it's cheaper. The question always here is with the community vote, is it a real community vote or not, right? On this one, for sure, it's a good idea to apply for the Binance community vote. We will for sure try that and try to get in. On the other hand side, we already noticed with other community votings where we applied the SAVEDROID token, if you remember back, we did that in the past, we remembered that at the end it was not so much a real community vote, right? Because from what you could see is that the SAVEDROID token ended up in those other community votes with having the majority of heads of number of voters. So if this would have been the category, we would have clearly won. On the other hand side, if you then look at the amount of votes, which was then driven by coins of the very exchange, SAVEDROID really fell behind, because this kind of voting obviously is a bit biased towards also professional voting services, which you can mandate and which will then in the community vote for your token, right? So this is a practice which you see in this kind of voting. So I don't know for different exchanges if it's all alike or not. We have just seen how it worked in the past with other different exchanges. But I'm with you, Thomas. Applying for the Binance community vote will not hurt anyway. So this we should do and will do. On the other hand side, we need to make it through and then also get enough votes. Of course, if we can really mobilize the community and if it's a fair community vote, which is not driven by any professional voting services which you can just buy, there may be a fair chance in order to make it. If it's at the end a bought vote, then of course it will be very challenging, because then you end up paying exactly the same amount as if you would have applied as a regular basis on the exchange, but you just don't pay it to the exchange itself, but just to other guys offering professional voting services. And at the end then it's a difficult game, so it could be a null-sum game at the end, and then it's again very expensive. So this is what we need to find out on this one, Thomas. Then Andreas is asking here, major exchanges make sense. It just doesn't make sense that you don't want to pay our cash. We want major exchanges, so use some of the money. Fair point to claim that, Andreas, saying, okay, some part of the community does want that, so spend the money on it. Honestly, as we have talked to so many users now over the last month, I can clearly assure you that this does not represent the majority of the community. There are always people who want these major exchanges, as they do make sense, I agree, but nothing in the world makes sense at any price, right? Always, as you are an economic-driven company, you need to reevaluate every economic decision if this is a good investment or not. And even the best investment, if the price is too high, it turns out to be a crappy investment. This is just the general rule of economics. So just saying, spend the money on whatever the price is, I think is not the right way in order to deal with amount of funds we are talking about, right? We are not talking about, say, some 50, some 100,000 US. We are talking about, if you're talking about the really big exchanges, 2 to 3 million US dollars. And I think this is not an amount one should easily spend. And again, look at the opportunity cost. If we can invest this money, this 2 to 3 million, into user growth, the impact on the value of the SVD token will be much bigger than investing the same money just for an exchange listing. Even more given the risk that an exchange listing can at every point in time being one-sidedly cancelled by the exchange. So this is a high risk investment also. And we have seen that in the past that also, especially the major exchanges, have delisted tokens because they had too low trading volume or because they just didn't like the token. So this is a risk in which you are also then playing, and that is also what needs to be considered here. So I think for this one, it does make sense to put all the arguments on the table and then really see the trade-off which is there. And I think if we consider the trade-off and if we also listen to the majority of the community, this is really not the way which makes most economic sense and which is in the best interest of our community at this point in time. If prices should stabilize again in the future, which I do hope, then of course the whole thing becomes a different ball game, and then we need to reevaluate. So say if the prices would move down to $500,000 US, of course then the calculation becomes way different, right? And this is why we are closely monitoring the whole situation. We are in talks with these guys. We're trying to understand what are the listing fees, and we are of course continuing our discussions. It's not that we're saying we are closing the door now. We have looked at it today, so it doesn't make sense forever. It's rather that we are in talks with the guys. We have looked at the price today. The price of today does not make any sense, but this means not that we shut down the communication, but we keep in talks, and once the price is stabilized, then we come back to the game. And that's how we see the strategy here on further exchange listings. So I hope, Andreas, that this also at least makes some sense for you. Then Rainer is saying here, Robinhood is secure and will grow rapidly. I see. Obviously, today we have many Robinhood fans here. So I hear your voice that there is some preference, obviously, in the community for this one. Then CoinVadi is saying Coin Super Exchange would be good for SVD because they have limited serious coins, no pump and dump coin there. I've also heard of Coin Super. Yes, the name does ring a bell. Definitely also on our list for all the ones we are talking to. Then Christian saying here, can you say something about the first feedback of the beta app? Yes, Christian, I can say, but it's even to be more fair and more transparent. You can also, by the way, read the feedback publicly. If you go to the Google Play Store, which is also available in the web browser, you don't even need to have an Android device. You will be able to click through all the reviews which the app has gotten so far, and you can also read for yourself. And from the reviews we've gotten so far, the average app rating is now 4.4. I think users are happy, especially given the easiness of the app, so that it's really simple to use it. The onboarding is really fast. It's really simple to save in crypto. I think this is then really also that we can see that the feedback pays in to what we have been promising before, to make crypto savings as simple as never before. And I see that there we get also the positive feedback. Of course, on the other hand side, users are wishing now for more features, which is understandable. It's only a beta, and a beta is always characterized by having a very limited feature set. So of course this is a very realistic feedback saying we want to have more features, more smooth, more functionalities, more coins and all that. We're working on this one. We are hearing your voice there, but all for the rest, at this point in time we are very happy with the user feedback which we got so far. Our development team is very happy because they see it as a good reward, as a very good feedback for the hard work they have invested in order to build the app over the last month. And this then again is of course more motivation in order to keep up the good work and to continue in this direction. So at the moment, at this point in time, we're very happy, we're very satisfied with the first user feedback which we get. And every one of you who wants to read it for yourself, just visit the Play Store, Google Play, sorry, and have a read through for yourself. Then Omar is saying, will the SAVEDROID volume continue to be developed until the future? Omar, not 100% sure what you exactly mean by that. Let me hopefully address the question in a way which at least get close to what you wanted to ask. Currently, how SAVEDROID works is that all the crypto which is being saved is being stored centrally, right? So it's one centralized wallet, or actually a system of centralized wallets which are kept by SAVEDROID. So that means that one user has no individual wallet and therefore also cannot receive crypto and cannot send crypto at this point in time. And of course our plan is to in the future build a more open wallet, build a more open ecosystem. But we perceive that at this point in time, as we are very early in the crypto market, people need to have maximum simplification, which means we need to take out all the barriers which are currently there. And handling with the individual wallet, of course, for a crypto insider is easy. But if we look to our core target group, which are newbies to the industry, to the crypto space, we see that people don't get the concept of a wallet yet. One of the most challenging questions for most people is, what is a private key and why am I not able to recover it? Because people know the concept of a password, and the password is always to be recovered, but you cannot do it with a private key, and that already shows you how challenging this situation is. Therefore, we have simplified the app to such a max that we actually have centralized it for the moment being. But once the market evolves further, of course, Omar, and I hope that's to your point, we want to continue the development of the SAVEDROID wallet, want to make it more open, and of course then want to create also an open crypto ecosystem. But this will definitely take some time. I do expect that this will be somewhere beyond 1 year, maybe even beyond 1.5 years. So that's not on our agenda for the short term. Then we have the next one. Then Christian saying here, one suggestion, can we update the site before the listing to promote more what has been done? So I think that goes back to the ICO website, for instance, like adding a news, achievements, or events tab where you could upload in an organized way all the news videos regarding the events you already participated, the events that you will participate, organize in the future, or the development roadmap achievements so far. I mean, you guys have done a good job and have a lot of material to spread the world. Just seems to me it needs to improve the marketing efforts, and the site for sure is a good example. There is pretty much no layout improvements since the ICO, so can we improve that before the listing? Also, it would be it could be organized to promote the exchange launch with some ads in the coin market cap, or to promote a trading competition in the exchange, like in HitBTC, promoting the biggest traders by volume during the period of time. Is there something being developed in any of those two directions? Yes, thanks a lot first, Christian, for this very good feedback, really cool points. Yes, we are basically working in these two dimensions. So firstly, for at least the landing page, is currently the site you get to if you go to ico.savedroid.com. There is going to be new information on this one. And also, indeed, we do want to push the current achievements which have been achieved so far. There will be, however, a focus, and that's our current thinking, a focus rather on the content part. So we're going to add, and of course you will then also find that on this landing page, and we will going to add some good articles around, firstly, the token itself, the value behind the token and what has been achieved so far. on our blog, and then of course share that over all our channels, right? So on the Medium blog, there will be more content pieces now in higher frequency before the listing, where we make it very clear what has been done so far. Also, the idea is maybe to have 1 or 2 more videos where we just summarize the achievements in a very short 1 or 2 minute video. And we are also in talks with some influencers and hopefully getting some interviews around that, which can be shared before the listing. So that's on the one hand side. I'm fully with you. We need to make it more transparent what has been achieved so far in order to spread the word there. And secondly, yes, paid marketing also. What we're going to do is we are going to do paid apps, especially targeting people who could not yet participate in the ICO. I mean, this, of course, is then a regional focus, for instance. We needed to exclude, as you know, in our ICO, all people living in China. So, of course, China is a big market for crypto. So this is now one area we're focusing on also for paid ads in order to inform about the SAVEDROID project. We do have created also banners for that in Chinese language, simplified and traditional. We do want to address these potential users because for them it's now the first time where they have the ability in order to participate in the SAVEDROID project to now buy the token on an exchange, right? And therefore, of course, we want to do also some marketing on the paid side in order to do that. Trading competitions at the exchanges we need to have a look at. We are currently in talks with HitBTC in order to discuss the launch in more detail. We need to understand what exactly they can offer and which price they are asking for this. Again, here, these kind of things are typically not coming for free. So here again is then an economic trade-off where we need to see if it makes any sense. But yes, Christian, to answer this one in short, I'm fully with you. We need and we will do more marketing around the launch. That's why it's good now that we have until August 10th. The whole team will work on that. And you will see there's going to be a much of content being published. And there will be also some more interviews and there will be also paid ads in order to facilitate this process. And hopefully, if we then can also have, and that's why we also start next week, the bounty, the community bounty, if we then can also have the bounty involved into spreading the word about our product, I think this will also help until the listing of the token, because then we have also 2.5 weeks to go where the bounty campaign is already running in order to spread the word about our live product. And I think that having a live product is also a very important feature for the token listing, because as we've seen in the past, is that token listings of post-product tokens have been much more successful than listings of pre-product tokens. And therefore, we do hope that this also adds to a hopefully good listing start. So yes, and thanks, Christian, for this very valuable feedback, good points in here, which will definitely pick up, highly appreciated for this one. Then the next one here is Eric. I believe giving some easy bonus to investors will cool down tempers in the community. Consider that a free business advice. I hope this coin makes ICO price in listing day. It's scary though. Yeah, so Eric, thanks for this feedback. We touched upon this space already quite briefly a few minutes ago here in the AMA session. We have just discussed that with our team already quite some time, because we had this discussion already also during the ICO period itself and then in the aftermath of the ICO. Very open, honestly, after we have evaluated this from an economic perspective, we are not so much friends of a free token giveaway, because effectively what you do by giving away just free tokens is you lower the critical sales price of the token holders, right? And that's basically not what we want to do, because essentially, if say you have one token and you've bought one token for 1 cent, and now I give you for free another token on top, so now you have basically 2 tokens and you paid only 1 cent for the 2 tokens, you are willing to sell 1 token for a price significantly below 1 cent, and you will still make a good profit from it, right? But this at the end just deteriorates the whole situation, because then what you end up with is a downwards process where you just, the more free tokens you give, the further or the higher the price pressure on your own token will be. So therefore, I really think economically speaking, it does not make too much sense. Cooling down the temper in the first phase of the users may be a psychological effect which will be completely vanished once the token hits the exchange, because then the effect will be just double as strong, because the more free tokens you give, the higher the sales pressure on the token will be. Therefore, I think this kind of strategy only has a very short-term effect, say like in the first 5 minutes, like a small kid, if you give it a new toy, will be happy, but after a while the toy will get very boring and you don't want to use it anymore, and you actually look to the fastest way to get rid of it and to find a new one. I think that's the same effect that you actually trigger with this kind of strategy. Therefore, we as SAVEDROID have consistently decided, and you've seen it throughout the ICO and now also after the ICO, and we will also stick with that in the future, that we will not give out just free tokens for nothing. We rather want to invest that into real bounty programs. We want to be very aggressive with the bounty programs. We promise that you will see extremely aggressive bounty programs from us in the future, because here we see real economic value. Firstly, people contributing, then they're getting rewarded for a real task which they have performed. At the end, everybody is participating here, because we drive user growth. More users means more demand for the SAVEDROID token, and at the end it's win-win. At the other one, it's rather a lose-lose, and that's why we don't want to go with free tokens, just with the community. So I hope, Eric, that you can see our business logic behind this one. Then we have here the next question from Julia. After the stunt, you talked about the ICO checklist. What is the update on this? Yeah, that's a very good one, Julia. Good that you mention it. We are, of course, working on this one. At this point in time, we have not yet at a stage where we can actually publish it. This will be one thing which will require a bit more time. We have not forgotten about this one, but at the moment, really, the key priority is to get the beta ready, to drive the user growth, and to also get the token listed. But the ICO checklist is there. This one will come. Some of our colleagues are working on it. And we are currently also discussing this one with other ICO market participants, because of course we don't only want to validate this within SAVEDROID, but also outside with many market experts. And that's basically what we are currently doing, discussing the criteria which we've already identified with external experts, and then from there basically trying to optimize the list. So this will take us a bit more in time, but once we have completed this, as promised, we will publish this list for free to the whole crypto community, and we will be happy if people can take up this list and basically use it in order to then come to more informed ICO investment decisions in the future. So thanks for your question, Julia. We are on this one as well. Then Matthias asking here, can you withdraw, I think, your coins to wallet that is under the personal control on the beta app? So I think if I get your question right, Matthias, what you're asking is basically, if you use SAVEDROID, if you use the SAVEDROID app and you have saved in Bitcoin or Ethereum on SAVEDROID, and then your Bitcoin and Ethereum is stored on the SAVEDROID wallet, can you actually send these cryptos from the SAVEDROID wallet to your own personal wallet? And the answer is no. This is not possible. This is not only not possible in the beta, but this will also not be possible in the actual launch of the app after the beta phase. As I said earlier, this is one simplification which we have done in order to really make the product easy and barrier-free. So that means that it is a centralized wallet also after the beta, right? So no crypto can be transferred to the wallet, and no crypto can be transferred from the wallet to another wallet. So it's really a closed shop. And we believe that this is necessary in order to simplify it for users who are no crypto pros. Because we have seen, and I just want to give you two examples, what we have seen from people who have participated in our ICO, and what we've also learned from other ICOs, it's really repeated mistakes. And this will show you that people are in a really early stage using this technology. We have seen that people, for example, throughout the ICO have been trying to mint their SAVEDROID tokens to other wallets which are not compatible with ERC20 tokens, right? People have used non-compatible wallets, people have used exchange wallets. Even so, we have had explanatory videos, even so we had many texts and copies explaining on how you should do it, but we saw that people were not able to handle that. So we want to really get around this risk that you transfer your crypto to a wallet which may be the wrong wallet address, because then it's just gone. That you could transfer your cryptos to an exchange wallet, which would be another risk that you could actually lose it, or at least that you have a huge load of work in order to recover it. So we really want to cut out this area of errors which can occur with first-time users who are not yet experts, and believe me, this is the majority of the market. And secondly, I briefly told that earlier, there's a huge issue still in handling private keys at this point in time. Many users just don't get the concept, they don't understand why it cannot be recovered, and they may lose it, right? And therefore also we cut short here by just eliminating this concept and by replacing it with a traditional password concept on our app. But in sum, that means that the app in the first place is going to be a centralized crypto app and not a decentralized one. So it's a closed shop, and only once the users are learning, and we also want to add our part in educating our users, and once the market gets more educated, then of course we can open up the SAVEDROID ecosystem and make it a decentralized system once people understand and once the risk for errors is reduced. But it's a high risk which is out there, and SAVEDROID, we don't want to be the ones actually pushing people into these errors where they then could lose money. Therefore, we have consciously decided to keep it like this. And so, short answer to your questions, not only in the beta node, but also the after, it will not be possible to transfer your saved crypto with SAVEDROID to your private wallet, which is under your personal control. I hope this was clear, Matthias, so that it could be understood. That's a good one here again. Michael saying, fire the CEO. That would be me then. Thanks for the proposal, but sorry, I need to reject. But if you want, you could apply maybe for my job. Maybe the supervisory board will take up your job application. Then CoinWadi we have here. See, Dr. Yassin, you reserved SVD for team and advisors. It would be good if you list to bigger exchange and will boost SVD price, will boost your reserved SVD as well. If you spend 1 million or 2 million, it would boost SVD and will fulfill your promise to boost really SAVEDROID. Make a voting for one of top 5 exchange to list SVD using investors' money. If community choose any, one top will be paid for exchange to list that exchange. See, at least we deserve this method. You already done lots of things and tried to list to top 5 exchange and done voting for it. Now please try to list SVD to bigger exchange, will give trust for SVD. Thanks, CoinWadi, for the feedback. Indeed, as I said earlier, a top 5 exchange makes a lot of sense. Again, not at any price. And I fully agree, and then that's what you're saying is true. At the end of the day, for sure, SAVEDROID itself is a big holder of the SAVEDROID token, right? And this is what you see in every ICO. Therefore, of course, what we do in the whole development for the SVD, we also need to take into consideration that every decision where basically we see a price increase on the positive side or a price decrease on the negative side also has a significant financial impact on the financial position of the SAVEDROID company itself, because we are one of the biggest token holders, obviously, right? And this is, again, one perspective to the whole discussion, which is a very interesting one, because all the time people are bringing the argument to the table that what we are doing would actually be harmful to the community or would not be a wise decision in order to drive the price of SAVEDROID, would at the very biggest extent hurt ourselves, right? So I think this is also one thing which you guys need to take into account, which is basically saying we have the highest interest to only take decisions which are in the best interest of maximizing the value of the SVD token. And why is that? Because we are ourselves one of the biggest holders of the SVD token, right? So does perfectly make sense. This is perfectly clear. So of course our strategy must be, and therefore our interests are perfectly aligned, our strategy must be to try our best efforts to maximize the value of the SAVEDROID token. That's what we are here for. You guys will profit, we will profit. It's a win-win again. But still, even considering this, paying a price like 2 million, 3 million US for getting listed at a top 5 exchange at this point in time does not make economic sense. Still not if we are the biggest holders of our own token, and still not if we want to maximize the value of the token. Because again here, just listing the token at a top 5 exchange will not guarantee that the price will increase, firstly. Secondly, you need to really consider that you are spending a price for which you could acquire so many users. And again, if you look to the token economics, you will easily see that the token economics are extremely influenced by the user growth which we can deliver on. Again, calculate back how many users can we acquire if we invest the same amount into user growth. And if we do it, how much positively will the price of SVD be influenced by the user growth which we have, right? And this is really to the roots of the economic model which we have for the SAVEDROID token, which you can also see for download on our website. There you find the Excel you can see for yourself. And if you really go through and do all the math, a price in this range honestly does not make any economic sense. And that is why we are at this point in time really reluctant to participate in this crazy race to the moon. I know that some ICOs are paying these kind of prices, but on the other hand side, one should really challenge why they are doing it and if it's then really paying off. I have my doubts for this one, but as I said, we will follow this way. And the thing is that we are not doing it today will not mean that we are not doing it tomorrow. We will reconsider. And I do expect that prices for listings will get more rational, and they will then get more rational if really you have a successful project. And that's what we need to prove in the future. If SAVEDROID can make good track record, if we can create traction, if we can onboard a significant number of users, if there is trust in our project, then of course listing prices for our project, if even bigger exchanges, will be much lower. And then it makes also more economic sense, right? And I think that this is the right way of strategy to go for, and that is how we have currently decided as the SAVEDROID Management Board in order to continue with the top exchanges, right? And therefore, I take your point. It's a very valid one. A top 5 exchange will for sure add value. The question is when is the right timing? And that's basically what we are trying to optimize here. So to have a, economically speaking, value maximizing impact for the SAVEDROID token. Then we have here the next one from John. John is saying top 5 exchange was written in very large letters on the ICO website since the beginning. It was a major selling point of the ICO. Is this top 5 exchange under contractual agreement to list the SVD token? John, we already had it. That's why I'm now keeping my answer short here in this one. We discussed it already twice in this AMA session. The situation is that we have reached an agreement with this top 5 exchange, but not agreed on a listing date. And this is currently also the situation. If you talk to other major exchanges, you can basically agree on a listing, but you cannot yet agree to a listing date, because that's always the right the exchange reserves then to have the full control in deciding what is a good timing for them. And they ignore a bit the projects here, and that's the unfortunate part of this one. So therefore, this one is to come. The only question is at what point in time, and there we just need to be patient. We cannot control it, unfortunately, but this is nothing specific to our project, and it's nothing specific to this exchange. This is just the current situation for all top exchanges and for all crypto projects out there, which is very challenging. I do understand. It doesn't make me happy, which doesn't make you guys happy, but we need to deal with it, unfortunately. Then Rainer is asking here, saying here, to have a working product is a great plus, and that together with the forced marketing strategy should be a turbo. Yasin, what do you think about to be hack-proof or hack-proof? I mean, if I get that right, to be proved not to be able to be hacked is a thing which is close to impossible at these days. I think there is nothing which cannot be hacked, and that's what we are seeing in the crypto market. Of course, you can do two things. Firstly, you can of course take all the security measures which are out there and try to have your product and also the product of your partners, if you do a screening, at the highest level of security which is possible. That's what we are doing. My CTO Toby is also an expert in security, so he has also published books on that. He's very active on this topic. And the other thing what you can do, and this is also which is a legit business decision, is you can of course collaborate with institutions and with organizations who help you to get your applications even more hacking proof. And I think that is another thing we are looking into, to of course being able to provide the highest security standards. But very honestly, and I'm just giving the feedback, which I'm not, by the way, the techie guy, as you know, which I always get if I talk to the techies, and not only to our techies but all the techies around the world. There's basically nothing which is not hackable unless it's completely offline, right? And this is a bit difficult for our online products. So therefore, you can try to minimize the risk, but you will never get to zero. So we are of course spending our best effort in order to doing this. I hope that at least to some extent, Rainer, this answers your question. Then Matthias is saying here, thanks Yasin, now you have proved that you are not a crypto company. What did you bring to the crypto ecosystems? Why should we trust you that you can handle the security? Your company act like absolute newbies, I guess it shall say. So why anybody gives trust in you? See, Matthias, the answer is very simple on this one. I think the crypto world, how it currently works, is a product which has been programmed by techies for techies. That's the reason why the crypto world as of today is a very niche market. I believe we have a penetration of not only 1% or maybe 2% in the total market. This is if you look to a typical innovation curve, not only at a development stage which can be called early adopters, but you're still in the innovator space. So this is far from a breakthrough, right? And now what we need is massive simplification for this one, and that's where we come in. We are not crypto experts, you're completely right, but if you listen to all the marketing videos which we had during our ICO, that's what we clearly said in every session, right? We are not crypto experts. We never claimed to be that, but that's exactly our advantage, because we see the issue that 99% of the people in this world have, because they are not understanding how crypto works. And therefore, I would say that's exactly the reason why you should trust us, because the people who are currently not in the game, these 99%, are the potential for the crypto space in the future. If crypto shall be the next big thing, what needs to happen is it needs to be mass marketable. And to be mass marketable, it needs to be simplified to a level that everybody can easily understand it. And how the crypto world currently works, nobody will understand, right? You need to sign up to a crypto exchange, having more than 200 crypto exchanges out there. Who does even take time to investigate that? Secondly, you need to decide for a wallet. Thousands different wallets there, mobile wallets, hard wallets, different advantages, different security levels. Nobody who's not into that even understands a shit of that. And then thirdly, the private key, as I already mentioned, people are not getting it. Whoever you are trying to explain that, people are not getting it. What's the purpose, why it cannot be recovered, and why it's not like a password. And that is a very clear sign that how the market currently works, there is no scalability of this industry. And therefore, we are here. We are ourselves not experts. We had the same issue once we started off. We didn't understand it. So we spent hard efforts to trying to understand it. And that's why we now feel we are in a good position, in a good place to simplify this product. And what we want to build is, as I said, and I know that there are many critical voices around that, we do want to build a centralized system over a decentralized system, because we genuinely believe that the market currently is not ready to handle a decentralized system. people need to learn and to be educated in the first place in order to then be capable to deal with the risks a decentralized system brings. And this, again, people don't understand today. People do not understand if I send my crypto from address A to B, that it will never come back. If I choose the wrong address, it's just gone, right? We had that in our ICO. People were claiming, where is my money? Why can't I just get my Ether back? Well, because you just send it to the wrong address and it's gone. So easy it is, right? And this is a big risk which is out there. And it's our goal and our task to eliminate this adoption barriers and to eliminate these risks and to make crypto easily understandable and very safe to use product so that it has a chance to become mass marketable. And that's why you should trust us, because we understand the concerns of the users who are no crypto nerds. And these users will be the future of the crypto market, because the crypto market can only scale if you bring in these kind of users to join the crypto community. And therefore you need this massive simplification, which is SAVEDROID. That's the story why you should trust us. So I hope that there's some point to it, and I do understand that, of course, the hardcore crypto experts do have some issues with how we structure our product, but on the other hand side, we believe that's the right way to go in order to bring it to the masses. So then Quirin has one thing here to say, which is, again, good job with the timing. In the past, there were top-notch ICOs that are trading below the ICO price. Everyone who has experience in the market or a significant investment is totally on your side and on this. Thanks, Quirin, for this positive feedback on this one. Highly appreciated. We'll also forward it to the team. So thanks a lot. I do see that this has been the final comment for today. Actually, quite good timing. Only 14 minutes to go now for the German AMA session. So thanks, guys. It was great that you were here with me today. I hope that I could give you good clarity about the final listing plans. Let me just briefly wrap it up for everyone. We have decided to move on with the listing. At the very latest, 10th of August, we're going to go ahead with the 4 exchanges as written on our website, HitBTC, TIDEX, IDEX, and Bancor. The top 5 exchange will not be in the first set once the token will be listed. We are in close discussions with the guys in order to nail down the listing date, but this is now taking longer, so the top 5 exchange will only come in a later point in time. And we do the listing now as the markets have stabilized, which I believe and hope is in the best interest of the community, that we can also launch the token to the exchanges in a stable, hopefully stable and positive market environment. Let's keep fingers crossed for that. Other than that, we're making good progress on our crypto savings app. More than 2,500 downloads already. We're going to add more coins in September. It's going to be Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. And we are working on our iOS application, which will come in September or October. So pushing fast forward on this one also. There's going to be a new bounty program on which all of you guys can participate starting next Wednesday, July 25th. So download the app already, even so you're not yet invited. You are able to participate in the bounty, and we are very aggressive on this one. So you can earn bounty tokens in the value of 100,000 euros in just 1 month. So it's easy to participate. Just download the app. You will find there all the instructions for the bounty program starting from next Wednesday, July 25th. Happy bounty hunting, and thanks a lot for being with me today. Also join our next community event. It's the second community event. It's this time a SAVEDROID meetup. You will have a sneak peek behind the scenes, and we will be able to experience the people working for SVD. So sign up. You will find the sign up link here. It's on the meetup platform. You can both participate either remotely via live web streaming or in our offices in Frankfurt. And I'm pretty much already looking forward to seeing you guys live in person here or through the webcam. So please join us in this meetup. Have a good time and see you soon. Thanks, guys.